Hello and welcome to Maximum Foods Inside Track. Here we are, first week of February already, 2026. Enjoying some beautiful days in Brisbane over the last week. Got a few more weeks of hot weather until things cool down. But let's have a look to see what's happening in the dairy industry. If we look across the index of GDT last night, we saw that correction of about 6.7% across the commodities. So a positive result last night for New Zealand processors. If we look at whole milk first, we saw a 5% increase, which is a great result given that milk figures for New Zealand, both December and January, are in the positives, so there's plenty of milk and also plenty of product around. So demand has held up and exceeded that supply. So it's positive signs and means that there is some momentum in whole milk at the moment. Moving across to skim milk powder. So I'm always a bit critical of the non-event of skim milk powder, but yesterday we saw a 10% increase in the GDT. That was back on another positive result at last GDT. So it is a real talking point. There are a lot of pockets of demand around the globe that were short on skim, and they have scurried in to buy, hence really spiking that price up. So yeah, it's normally lays quite dormant skim, but we're seeing some activity and you would suspect moving into the winter months there will be less supply, so it may remain strong for the short term. Having a look at butter and AMF, if we look at it on a global scale, EU see some bearish conditions there. And product on the global market. If we look in the US, that fat component in the milk and fat supply is still quite abundant, and local demand quite bearish. So we're still seeing that US butter on the export market at better dollars than EU and the US New Zealand. However, there are some positive signs in the US with that market bouncing back on the CME, so it does look as though supply is getting soaked up and conditions are improving. If we look at New Zealand, Australia on the GDT last night, we saw a positive result on both, 8% on butter in particular. So it looks as though it has bounced back from that low of December, this third consecutive GDT increase. So and back to about November levels, November 25 levels. So was at the bottom, and is it working its way up? You would suspect, like skim, there'll be less product coming into the winter months. So that will spark more demand, and we probably will see a steady increase in butterfat, especially from New Zealand. Moving across to cheese, if we look in the EU, there's some healthy milk in the EU as they are heading into their season. So things are stable with demand and supply over there, so pricing reasonably stable. In the US, still see some bearish demand conditions over there domestically. So there is product on the export market. So yeah, cheese you would say is bearish in the US. Australia, New Zealand, yeah, it's a reasonably balanced outlook here. We would assume some reasonably flat pricing for the next 3 to 6 months. Finishing off with proteins, whey protein. I know that Fraser and I gave a little presentation a week back just regarding that demand dynamics there globally on proteins. Yeah, this obviously hasn't changed in the last week, so yeah, just to reiterate there, that demand is still very strong and balancing supply, so we will see some strong pricing outlook for the next 3 to 6 months on proteins. Thanks very much for listening to today's Inside Track. Look after yourself and one another, and we'll see you again in a fortnight.